Dan Illman, Mike Beer, one of two stakes races at the Big A on Sundays, the $100,000 Stewart Manor Stakes. These are two-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs on the outer turf. Let's take a peek at this field. Big field, Mike, some pretty talented two-year-old fillies, lots of horses that have won their races, maiden races on the lead. I'd expect this pace to be solid.
Yeah, I'm assuming that you'll see some horses showing speed in this race. It's a 6 furlong sprint. I also feel like the favorites in this race are pretty solid too, so we'll see what happens.
Timeform US has the number 3, Lucrezia, a gate-to-wire winner in her turf debut at Keeneland. Out there on a slight lead, but she's going to have to deal with the 1, Masked Oiseau, the 2, Time Limit. Those horses very, very fast, and there should be some pace going on. As for the number 1, Masked Oiseau, nice career debut at 9-5 for trainer Benny Perkins at Monmouth. We'll go back and watch that race right now. I thought she was a little green early, but she turns into the stretch after showing good speed with the lead, and she's going to keep on. The Beyer speed figure came back very light, only a 59. You saw her duck in from the gap just briefly right there. She's learning, and she's going to have to hustle from the rail.
Yeah, she's got plenty of speed, though. I'm assuming she'll come out of there running. She was green in this race, but did have very good speed. I'm not going to worry about the 59 Beyer right now. She's bred to be a good horse. She showed she can run a little bit first time out, and she should be gunning from the rail.
New York bred number 2, Time Limit, has shown some ability on the main track. Stakes placed on the dirt at Saratoga. Good turf debut in the Grade 3 Matron for trainer Michael Maker. We turn into the stretch, and she is on the lead. She is on the rail, and very briefly, she's going to open up, and it looks like she's on her way to pull off an 11-1 upset, but Alms, the 3-5 favor, is just a little too good for Time Limit. I thought all in all, this was a really promising performance.
The good thing about this race is that the horse that runs her down is very good, Alms. The negatives are this horse basically walked on a half and 45 and 2 with a big long shot, just giving her token pressure in there. If she was going to pull off an upset, to me anyway, she was going to do it in that race with a soft trip on the lead. I don't think she's getting that here.
Here's Lucrezia, the number 3 for Arnaud Delacour. Turf debut, second lifetime start. She took no prisoners. We turn into the stretch. Lucrezia has the lead. She's going to open up. She went 21-4 for the first half over this good going. And she seems like she's well in control of this thing, Mike, under Julien Leparoux. 86 Beyer speed figure, very solid for this level. And if she can overcome some pace pressure or perhaps even rate off the 1 or the 2 just a little bit, she should be tough.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to argue with the figure. It's a fast race. She's another horse who, to me anyway, just got absolutely loose on a slow pace in there. I mean, they did not go fast early. She took no pressure on the lead, and she had plenty left when they turned into the stretch. I still think she ran well. I still think she's a contender in this race, but I would not take a short price on her.
First time turf for the number 4, Violent Point, who won an off-the-turf maiden race at Saratoga in the mud, did so in gate-to-wire fashion. Didn't run that well in her first start against winners, the Seeking the Anti-Stakes on the main track. Now she's going to have to deal with a little bit of a layoff, some fast turf horses, a new surface. It's a lot to ask. You got top connections.
Yeah, you do. I liked her win in that muddy track 2 starts back. I really liked the way she finished that race off, but she was also sort of in control the entire way. Probably can't do that here. You don't know if she's going to be a turf horse or not. There's not a ton of pedigree for it. I guess we'll see what happens. She's a big price, though. I'm not going to knock it right now.
Shug McGahee sends out the number 5, Enola Gay, a really well-bred daughter of Uncle Mo, who came from off the pace to win her career debut at Kentucky Downs. Let's watch that race right now. It's 6.5 furlongs, so she's actually cutting back a bit. Take him home, Mike.
I mean, she got a really good trip in this race, Dan, just sort of sat middle of the pack. You can see her right now switching to the outside to get clear. She's going to run this field right over. To me, this was a very impressive debut. I also thought it was interesting that Shug shipped her down there to run. They go for $130,000 in maiden races down there. So I think it's a good sign that he went down to run her in this race. Cutting back in this race maybe works against her, but as we've already talked about, there's some speed in here. She didn't look slow early. She just sat off the pace. Thought she was very impressive first time out.
And if the pace is hot, she should be running late again. A very logical contender for Shug McGahee. The 6 is Karak, going out for trainer Wesley Ward. She has already won a stakes race on the turf. That was the Tyro Stakes. She came back in the Matron last time out. It was her first start off about a 2-month layoff. Time Limit got loose on the lead. I thought she ran okay. She just didn't get forward coming out of the gate.
Yeah, it was sort of surprising to watch that race back and just see Irad Ortiz just basically grab her at the start of the race, because she could have been right up on that pace, and she has the speed to do that. But It almost seemed like the plan for that race was not to go. They really pulled her hard off the pace in there. Maybe that's an excuse for her. I didn't think she ran great after that, but maybe that's an excuse for her.
Classy Sadie, the number 7, would really benefit from some pace up front. No match for Kamari, a good one in the Bolton Landing at Saratoga, but then beaten in her last 2, and I wonder if she's just been exposed at the stakes level right now.
Yeah, so far she has. I mean, she hasn't run well really in any of her last 3 races.
Fly So Pretty, the number 8, cuts back in distance from Marcassi. This one took a turf sprint at Saratoga 2 starts back, going 5.5 furlongs from well off of the pace. Last time out at Kentucky Downs, beaten favorite, but again, some horses just don't like that configuration. You can easily give her a mulligan for that race. At a price, maybe she can come rolling to get a piece at the very least.
I think she can. I like her cutting back in this race. I thought her debut was fine. She didn't have an easy trip in that race at Churchill. They came to Saratoga. I mean, that's another race. She was better than she looks in there. She checked pretty hard on the backstretch in traffic, lost position, but got to the outside and came with a good finish to get up. I thought she ran a lot better than it looks breaking her maiden.
Number 9 is A Freud of Mama. This is a New York bred who's slowly taking a step forward. She ran 3rd in that matron that we just saw behind Alms, behind the pace setter Time Limit. I thought all in all got a good trip, but I do like her tactical speed. I think she can be sitting just off the first flight of leaders, getting the jump on the true closers and perhaps avoiding the traffic issues that those closers sometimes have to deal with.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. She seems like she's improving from race to race. I didn't love her effort in the matron, but maybe she can run better than that.
Class test for the number 10, Miss J. McKay. She is a perfect 3 for 3 in her career, including 2 first-place finishes in turf sprints. She was so green in that race at Monmouth. She was much the best in the Colleen. She swung outside, but then she sort of drifted in and just wiped out the entire field once she made the lead. She was straighter last time out at Laurel. We turn to the stretch. She is in the teal silks, 3 wide. This was the point at Monmouth where she drifted in and wiped everybody out. She still drifts in, but this time she's clear, and once Trevor McCarthy asks her for her run, she stays straight in the stretch. Not sure if she beat much in here. A couple of minor next out winners, but she's looked good in her 2 turf races and might get the right setup.
Yeah, I think she's looked good in all 3 of her races, actually. And she just has the right running style for this race because she has speed, but doesn't need to be on the lead. And she runs the turns very strongly. She traveled really strongly on the turns in both of her races. But there's a lot to like here, Dan, and she's going to be tough in this race, I think.
Brad Cox at a price for the number 11, Barely Seen. When she wins, you know it. She won her debut by over 12. She won her allowance race 2 back by 7. Last time out in a little stakes race at Woodbine, going 6 furlongs on their inner turf course. She's going to just miss. She's on the outside here. Fast Seen has been controlling the pace from the start. It looks like Barely Seen's going to wear her down, but let's give credit to the horse on the rail. She's going to dig in and just outgame her to the wire. I think this filly has some ability, and it looks like she's moving the right way, but kind of a tough outside post with her running style and all that speed to the inside.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of trip she can get. I guess all things considered last time, maybe Castellano just made a mistake conceding the lead to the horse that beat her in there because he certainly could have had the front if he wanted it, but he didn't want it. I didn't see a huge excuse for her not to win, but she did get wired in there. I'm a little concerned about 6 furlongs for her. I wonder how far she wants to go.
12 Mosienko blew out state-bred maidens over a sloppy track in an off-the-turf race last time out. Just ran off and hid from that field, but basically got to treat her as a first-time starter. She's trying turf for the first time. It's a terrible outside post position. She's a big long shot. She has some potential. This might be a little too tough for her first start against winners.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, they want to run her on turf. She's been okay on dirt in both of her starts. Maybe she'll take a big step forward here.
Top pick time for the Stewart Manor Stakes. Really interesting to see how this pace sets up. We both like horses that can stay within range. They're not true deep closers, and they've shown some ability. I might have a little bit of an experience edge with Miss J. McKay. I went 10-3, 2-11. You're going with Enola Gay. You really liked what you saw from this McGahey trainee.
Yeah, and listen, this is a good field, but like I said, I think the 2 favorites, the 5 and the 10, I think they're legit horses. They're really the only 2 that I like here.
Stewart Manor Stakes, one of 2 stakes races at the Big A on Sunday. This one is carded as race number 9 and has an approximate post of 3:50 Eastern. Best of luck.